So, for the
So,
listeners, just before we started recording, in fact, we started recording right now for this reason. So, Connor's got a sofa behind him. It's new, and he reckons it's good for shagging. And immediately, of course, we started talking about cooking because I said I'd be on the next plane so I could shag his bird while he watches. But it's a very common male fetish, watching your wife or your girlfriend, your partner being shagged by another man. And it's actually the reason for it is the same reason your penis is shaped like a fucking stick with mushroom on the end. It's about
suck up the cum.
your dick is shaped the way it is. It's optimized for if you shag a bird who's just been shagged, your dick removes the other guy's sperm while yours gets injected into her. It's all about fucking procreation. So when you see when this is why men get turned on by porn. It's a natural reaction. So she's sexually available and interested and maybe fertile. So if I fuck her after he's fucked her, my sperm might impregnate her instead of his. It's really base when you think about it. It's fucking just comes down to fucking chemicals and bodily fluids. But that's why it is. And the whole industry based on this. Amazing, isn't it? A multi-million pound industry based on the fact that DNA likes to procreate itself. That's why it exists. It's fucking fantastic.
Part of that fetish as well is white guys seem to love watching black guys, the black bull with a bigger cock and everything, better bodies, taller, stronger, fucking their wives better than they ever could. So then they can crawl on top after and just extract the black semen for 30 seconds and pump their load whilst then they rub their belly after, put the Russell's burger in the microwave and go, great that, wasn't it, love? Crack open a can of Stella.
It's pathetic, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's rather odd.
Yeah, I guess that's where pure biology and evolution is kind of somewhat usurped by our cortex and our ability to imagine and fantasize. Because, the white guys' wives being fucked by big black stallions and bulls is absolutely a thing. And I know this because I deal in the world of fetish. I've got a fetish blog. I write under a pseudonym. And no, for anyone who wants to know who that is, no. Okay, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I will tell you for a price, £5,000, and I'll tell you what the blog is. That's an open offer to anyone. So otherwise, don't fucking ask. Because people have said to me, "I'll do anything for you to tell me." Okay, it's $5,000. I'm not paying that. Well, you don't do anything then, would you? But here's the thing, you see. Go on.
I was going to say it's interesting you bring up imagination because this morning I was reminded of my aphantasia, which I'm still not sure is a real thing. And do you know what aphantasia is?
You can't see images in your head.
Yeah. So
I always
but I always was convinced that everyone has aphantasia, and anyone who says otherwise is just lying. And I thought the whole, visualization and picture the audience naked, they're just metaphors.
No,
did a
people
test.
do that.
I know. I did a test this morning with Tamsin. She's on the school holidays, so she's in bed. And I went from the office to the bedroom. I was like, look, can we do a quick quiz? And she was like, oh, God, what is it? Because sometimes I ask her to close her eyes and sometimes she ends up with something in her gob. I shouldn't say that about a teacher on a podcast, but anyway. And she could see all this shit visually. And I was like, you're lying. You're lying. It's just not real. Baffles me.
No, I've got aphantasia too. I mean... And this is actually where these people who are into NLP have got it all wrong. They say everyone, when they say, imagine a green door, they see a green door in their head. No, we don't actually. That's absolutely wrong. I mean, my world is extremely kinesthetic and auditory. I'm constantly have my inner voice narrating my surroundings to me. Yeah, part of that's being autistic and stuff.
I just wish we could change it to Morgan Freeman rather than just this.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
A voice.
Yeah, that would be cool. But no, I can't imagine pictures in my head either. Some people, do you have an inner voice narrative going?
Yeah, and I thought everyone does.
No, some people
everything is being spoken at all times.
I can't imagine how that must be to be in this world of silence in your own head. I mean, sometimes I wish the fucking thing had shut up because it's scary. Some of the things my inner voice says to me, but I remember once Kat Smith wrote some emails for me. I paid her to do it. And she said, I've just spent a month in your head. It's fucking horrible. Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyway, talking of disgusting practices and spooge and things, Rule 34, porn, if it exists, there is porn about it.
Yeah.
But I think the Rule 34 in general and porn in particular is a good example of how people are not price sensitive, because there's a lot of fucking people out there who are claim to have no money who've probably got paid accounts on Pornhub and Xhamster.
Yeah, OnlyFans has shown this, I think, more than ever.
But yeah, OnlyFans, that's relatively new. I have seen the website.
Less amateur porn is going out because these girls have finally realised, hang on a minute, this video I was putting out for free, I can sell for 10 quid to my subscribers that pay £20 a month rather than getting paid 0.0001p for every view. And that is blown out. I was listening to a podcast about it yesterday, one of the top earners on OnlyFans. She was like, I used to give away hundreds of hours worth of content because I didn't think anyone would really pay too much for it. She's taken as much of it down as possible and now just sells this shit, and she's making tens of millions.
A mate of mine, he's got a very niche fetish. He actually got me into my fetish in the sense that I realised there was money in this, and all I had to do was find something which was fairly innocuous that there was a demand for, and I did. And not too much competition. His thing is, he used to, I don't know if he still does it, and he probably still sells the videos, but he used to, it's called, I don't know what the fetish is called now, but basically there's a lot of men, enough for him to make a lot of money at this. There are men out there who've got the fetish of literally being consumed, eaten by giant women. Yeah, it's Omni something or other. So what he did was he would hire, he lives in Florida, so there's a lot of these women around, very attractive young women, often Hispanic as well. That gets these guys off. And he would just video them eat, putting toy soldiers and things in their mouths. And then he extended it to he would have them biting his arm. There's no sex involved in this at all. It's not although it's erotic to these guys. It's not. There's no sex involved, no genitals or nudity. He would just he would video these people. Oh, what the fuck's that? A fucking cancer on me arm. Of these women biting his arm, and he would sell these videos that maybe 5 minutes long for €7.50, because his biggest market, of course, was in fucking Germany, wasn't it?
Oh, dirty bastard.
He was doing probably $20,000 a month in, almost certainly, guys buying these 5-minute videos of women eating soldiers, biting his arm. He made a shitload of money. He must still be doing it. And then, of course, I started thinking about it, and he's autistic too. And we started talking about it, and the analytical side of it came off. Now, the thing about fetish, and this is why I write fetish porn, short novels, 5 to 10,000 words, short stories, and they're just shit. But the thing is, fetish is one of these, it's like a drug. These guys who've got it, there's no judgment here at all. These guys who've got a fetish, they didn't ask for it, and it never goes away. And the thing is, they buy, say, a 5,000, 10,000 word short story, and they'll have a wank about it, and it satisfies them. And if they're young, it probably satisfies them for a few hours. And they're not going to read the same story over and over again. Not often. They want another one, even though it's the same story with different characters and a different. It's just like porn, So there's a never-ending demand for these people who are scratching an itch they can never sufficiently scratch. Now, at the moment, at one point, I was doing about €1,500 a month in sales on Amazon. It's much less than that. It's about a tenth of that. I'm doing about 2K a year. But they're shitty titles that have been up for 10 years. So free money. So what I'm doing in my spare time is I'm just writing more of this stuff. I've planned series, because I'm going to, this blog I've got a list of 3,000 people into this particular fetish, and it grows at the rate of about between 7 and 10 a day. And it's all free traffic. I don't have to do anything on the blog. So I'm just going to write these novels and push these people to this, to these titles on Kindle. And also, I'm going to set up a Patreon account, which is just going to have more in-depth analysis of this stuff. And, if I've got €2,000, and this is after tax, by the way, and I've not sorted out my American side yet, so that's with withholding tax at 30%. So I'm probably doing nearer 2.5K a year. Probably about 2.5, 3K a year. If I can multiply those 10 titles into 100, well, that's going to be 20K. I mean, it will work that way. That's just the way it works. Well, that'll pay my rent or mortgage or buy me a fucking decent car every year. For what? Scratching guys' bollocks, metaphorically. Now, here's the thing, porn as well. I mean, what will people buy for this, pay for this stuff? Because we've got two things, and people often confuse the two. And by the way, this isn't just about porn, everyone. In fact, this is not about porn at all. This is about pricing and money, and people will pay whatever you ask, what they desire greatly. There's a thing called, there's premium pricing, which is, in any market, escorts are a great example. You can get a cheap escort down at Felixstowe Docks for probably 10 quid. And I know this because I used to work at a nightclub as a doorman down by Felixstowe Docks. So the girls used to come in the club. And I'm going back 25 years now. So you can get a blowjob for 25 quid, or you can have a £4,000 a night escort. It was the same thing. There's no real difference. I mean, maybe the nice escort has a nice hotel room. Same outcome. Yeah, and probably the same length of time. But the differences are minimal. A cheap escort on Felixstowe Docks could set herself up as a premium escort in somewhere like Manchester or Leicester or London. Now, it's a choice she's made. But that's premium pricing. Now, price elasticity is how much can we sell the same thing for to the same market, the same people, same product without making substantial differences in our own marketing or the product itself. So good example of price elasticity is, I've always been, well, not always, but from a very early in my career, I was a premium price copywriter, but I wasn't pushing the limits of elasticity until one day I accidentally overcharged a client in my quote by double. I quoted him in pounds and not dollars, and the exchange rate meant then my $4,000 quote was a £4,000 quote, which came to about $6,500, $7,000. And he just came straight back and said, yeah, go ahead. I thought, shit, the fuck? That blew my mind. And ever since then, I never looked back. That was an accident that was well worth having. And that's price elasticity. And people kind of get premium pricing, I think, Well, actually, no, they don't, do they? They don't get either of them, because when people say, oh, I can't raise the prices, people won't pay more for plastering or house cleaning or PT. You name it. Whatever I do, they won't pay any more for it. There's always price resistance. My first question to them is, okay, so are you the most expensive seller of whatever you're doing in your market? Well, no, I'm about middle of the range. Well, you've just contradicted yourself, because clearly people will pay more for what you're doing because they are doing to other people. So I say this to every cunt listening to this, without exception, someone in your market, and I don't care what you're doing, whether you're on a global market or a local market or got a shop in the town, someone selling what you do and what you sell is the most expensive person in that market. That's a fact. Yeah, there might be two who charge exactly the same, in which case there are two. But someone or someone's has got the highest prices in your market. I have two questions for you. The first is it you? And if the answer to that is no, my next question is, why not? Why have you chosen to sell what you're doing at less than everyone else or someone else? Why? Because it is a choice. And if the answer is yes, my question is, well, could you charge more for it? That's price elasticity. And the answer is almost fucking certainly. And this is not rocket science. Or as my friend said, this is not rocket surgery.
But John, I haven't got enough experience yet. Just give me a few more years. I just need a few more years under my belt, and then I'll do it. Because you see Dave round the corner, he's been doing it 5 years more than me, so it'd be unfair if I charged as much as him. Yeah, I saw stripes.
I saw a bird on LinkedIn. Well, it was sent to me. She's saying, when I started off as a copywriter, I took really shit jobs because I was completely unqualified as a copywriter. Yeah. And she says, so you've got to work your way up. And I says, well, so I wasn't being paid my worth. And my comment was, well, if you were completely unqualified for doing the job, if you were being paid anything at all, you're being paid your worth. But the point is, everyone should be charging their worth. And it's not what you think you're worth, it's what it's worth to the client. So if I'm going for a copywriting job, I should charge as much as anyone else who can do that job, whether it's Dan Kennedy, Gary Bensavenga, the late Gary Halbert, or anyone, it doesn't matter. If I can do the job, I should charge the same as them at least, because it's about the value to the client. If I can't do the job, then I shouldn't be charging anything at all. You know, though you know, if you're a copy, I don't care who you are, okay, copywriter, plasterer, bricklayer, fucking house builder, escort, whatever. How long you've been in the business is not the point. It's how well you can do the job. And of course, you probably won't be able to do as many jobs to the same quality as people who have been experienced for 20 years. Great. Then in which case you don't offer their services. You offer what you can do very, very well. And if there's only one thing, if you're a graphic designer but can only do logos, that's all you do. Yeah. Until you can do more.
I mean,
charging less because I'm not that good. It's fucking stupid.
Take a look at fucking Greta Thunberg. I can only imagine what she charges. I can only imagine what she charges for a speaking fee or even consultation on environmental impact. Yeah, she's probably 17 now? She's been doing this since she was like...
She's an embarrassment to the Asperger's fucking race, man.
But if you was to ask the Joe public, should Greta Thunberg charge the same as other 15-year-olds? They'd say no. And it's just, well, why? They'll stumble.
The speakers, you mean?
Yeah, and they'll just stumble on celebrity status. And it's like, the fuck are you on about? 1 minute it's years in the game, skin in the game. This little
idiot.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Are you a global warming denier, John? Because that's what you're saying.
No, not in the slightest. I am not qualified to say either way. I find it hard to believe that we can abuse the planet for so long, so badly, and there'll be no repercussions. But I'm not a denier. I would accept the evidence, and I've not looked at the evidence, and I don't pay a great deal of attention to it either because I can't do much about it. I mean, I can only do what I can do. But Greta Thunberg is one of these people who, there's this misapprehension that all autistic people are really clever and geniuses and savants. They're not. Actually, autism is correlated with low intelligence, not high. Greta Thunberg is being touted as some kind of child prodigy or genius. She's not. She's actually probably a low average intelligence. She's not very intelligent at all. Yeah, I don't know whether she's been exploited or manipulated. I don't care either. The fact is, she's not actually very smart, and she's being billed and touted as if she is, and that's fucking dangerous. She's actually rather stupid. She's an embarrassment. But she's Asperger's. She must be a genius. No. I'm an Asperger's genius. She is definitely fucking not. She's a fucking idiot. But people are taking her words as true. Hey?
Let's hope she's 18. Otherwise, you're just calling a 17-year-old girl a fucking idiot.
What does that matter? I don't know. How does her age matter?
There's these magical rules about age. You can fuck them at 16 and then slag them off at 18.
Well, it depends where you are. If you're in, I think it's Switzerland, you can fuck them at 12. Denmark, you can fuck them at 14. Really? I think in Denmark, you can fuck them at 14. Hang on, let's have a look, shall we? This is a good conversation. Age of
America.
And probably state dependent. 12 to 21. There we go. Age of consent. Well, age of consent by a country. Here we go. This is brilliant. This is. I now know where we want to be living. Okay, I need to fucking disable. I need to disable my ad blocker.
Yeah.
So let's have a look, shall we? So Bahrain is 21. Most places seem to be 18. It's 16 in the UK, obviously. It's
16 most of America. 13
in Japan. 14 in Liechtenstein, 11 in Nigeria. I'm not saying a word. Anything I say will be deemed as racist. Philippines is 12, Angola's 12, Japan's 13, as I say, Micronesia, Liechtenstein 14, where else is 14? Portugal's 14, Hungary.
John, do you reckon Nigeria is the biggest export of balls for the cuckold community? Because they're getting
China's 14, Brazil is 14. There's a few places in South America, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia. Austria's 14 as well. So, if you got a mind to, Denmark's 15. I thought it was 14. Maybe it changed then. Or I was just wrong. That's all possible. Greece is 15. So, there's a lot of places. Poland is 15. There's a lot of... France is 15. I like French birds as well.
John.
No, that's legal, man. I can legally lust after a 15-year-old French girl.
God, I couldn't find a 15-year-old attractive.
No, I couldn't. I mean, I mean, it is fucking funny, but it's almost a thing where middle-aged guys, well, guys my age, the overweight ones with the fucking jowly faces, pot bellies, and the bad comb-overs, they lust after fucking young women. I don't necessarily mean young girls. I mean young women, 18 to 25. I don't get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. They look nice, but they're just, for the most part, they're just so far removed from my life experience. I'd have nothing in common, and it just has to be more than just sex, surely. You know? You can't have. I'm not saying that they're stupid or they're necessarily fatuous, but it's difficult for me to have a conversation with someone of 25 on meaningful topics because we don't have the same life experience. And I can't talk about. Well, I can talk. Me and Sarah can talk about adverts we've seen and the old TV programs and stuff, and world events that we both experienced. Because her birthday's only a few days after mine. But a woman of 25, it's much more difficult. Now you're an exception because you're well read, you're educated, and you've been hanging around older people.
Yeah, most of my life.
Yeah. But most young
people, the benefits of being brought up in a pub, mate.
I guess so. And also, you've been in my world for 10 years.
Yes, I have.
And other things like fucking. A lot of young people are just left-wing, collective-minded, woke people who don't understand that their ideologies actually won't work in the real. Because the Berlin Wall came down and the Soviet Union collapsed before they were born. So they've still got this fucking idea that socialism's a great idea. It's a fucking terrible idea. And it doesn't work. And we've proven it doesn't fucking work. But, oh no, that wasn't real socialism. Yes, it was. That's the whole point.
There's going to be a lot of calls for socialism. The price cap on energy has risen by 80%.
Oh, it's bound to happen. I mean, people... Yeah, I don't even want to go there. The government should do something. I mean, I think we mentioned the other day, right? There's been a development. We mentioned the other day there's the LBTQ DIYers or whatever they are going on about the government should do something about monkeypox. Remember?
Yeah.
If we didn't mention it, I'm mentioning it now. Well, what's the government going to do apart from say have safe sex? You know, there you go. That was hard, wasn't it? Well, there's some bloke, right? I've got to write an email about this. Yeah. There's some bloke has just had the dubious fucking honour, the dubious distinction of getting into the record books. He's been diagnosed as being COVID positive, monkeypox positive, and HIV positive. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, the poor bloke is in a bit of a fucking state, isn't he? But he's got one person to blame for at least two of those, and that's himself. You know? What could the government have done to stop this fucking walking bag of disease from catching what is caught? And this isn't a Puritan thing or a moralistic thing. It's a kind of, remember what we said? Choices plus actions equal consequences. If you're going to have fucking Spanish John banging your arsehole like a fucking trip hammer or an over-caffeinated Jack Russell on your auntie's leg, you might catch something. Yeah. Actions plus choices equal consequences. Poor bloke. His future does not look very bright, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Monkeypox, HIV, and COVID. If he carries on, if he hangs on at it, we might get flu as well. Seasonal flu. Triple whammy.
He may as well just try and collect them all.
Triple fucking Pokemon. Got to get them all. Yeah, got to catch them all.
Yeah, exactly that.
Pokemon Secrets Anal Sex. Got to catch them all.
He's filling out his infection decks. Just anyway, this is a great episode about price elasticity.
It has, isn't it? You come into, you fly into some of these countries, and it's like, you have any infectious diseases? They'd be there all fucking day writing, is that, wouldn't they?
It's quicker to write which ones he doesn't have. Yeah. You've got these in this country because this is what I'm looking for, actually.
Fucking Typhoid Mary had nothing on him.
Oh, God.
Well, what do you think about, man?
He's going to Nigeria.
Yeah, all these fucking infected girls walking around, these fucking young girls of 11. Fucking hell, that's a bit. I mean, fuck no. I'm not going to go there, mate. Literally or figuratively, I'm not going to Nigeria. Yeah. I don't want to think about 11-year-old girls having sex. Do they even have pubes at 11?
John, let's move on rather rapidly.
Hang on, let's pretend Nigeria's legal. Is it legal in Nigeria to have someone who hasn't got pubes?
John, let's break this down to basics. I refuse to talk about an 11-year-old's pubes to the world.
But it's legal in Nigeria.
I don't care whether it's legal. It's also legal to
Well,
smoke
I
crack
don't like
in
I'm
some
going there to
places.
do it. I'm just thinking about it. You know, it's
Do I never
happening,
give
mate.
up pubes? It's probably a bit furry. Are you happy now?
How furry?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Fucking hell. That's a real eye-watering eye opener, isn't it? There's some fucked up places in the world, isn't there? There really are.
Yeah. Mm.
Anyway. Well, someone said to me the other day, one of the things they like about me, and it's been said to me many times over the years, is I will say the things other people want to say but daren't.
Mm.
Now, it's not like I'm speaking for them, but they're quietly sitting there thinking, I'm glad someone said it. When I wrote a post on LinkedIn recently about, sometimes man up is the correct response. I'm sick and tired of seeing grown men crying over things. Sometimes man, I had quite a few private messages saying, I'm glad someone finally said it.
Mm.
Men and women alike. Well, the thing is, they fear saying it because of their actions and choices and consequences. They fear the consequences. They're immaterial in the sense that it's just people not liking you or getting angry with you. I don't give a shit about that. I'm not here to be popular. I'm here to lead.
Yeah.
And to get results from my clients, and to be a father to my children, and to be a mentor to people like you. That's what I'm here for. And what other people who are not directly connected with me anyway think, I just don't give a shit. Why would I give a fuck what some random person on LinkedIn thinks about my opinions? Oh, it's triggering. Yeah. Oh, so fuck you what? Grow up and control your emotions. Don't ask me to control my speech.
I don't even understand why people would argue against the fact that sometimes man up is an appropriate thing to do and thing to say.
It's probably bullying.
It's
bullying,
victim blaming. Isn't it meant to do with disregarding the fact that men have emotions? Like, everyone knows that. It's a figure of speech. It's not that fucking complex and deep. Don't try and make everything deep and complex over your Starbucks coffee, you daft millennial cunt. Sometimes you need to pull your socks up and get going.
Yeah, just fucking grow up. Pull yourself together, man. Now, it's funny because another common thing is, men need to talk more. Men need to open up more. Well, which men? I don't want to. If I want to talk through problems, I will pick and choose the people I speak to, and I will also pick and choose the things I choose to talk about. Some things I actually man up about myself and deal with myself because that's how I want to do it. I don't need some woman, particularly. I don't need a woman telling me, a man, how I should behave as a man when it comes to my own business. And if we start doing that to women, it's called mansplaining.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need anyone telling me, thank you very much, you need to talk more, you need to open up more and share more. No, fuck off. I'll do what I need to do. And if I'm wrong and it affects me negatively, that's my responsibility, not yours. Fuck off. And I think men should be more like that, to be honest. And funnily enough, I was talking to one of the clients I went to see recently. She was saying she and other women like her, they despise weak men.
Yeah, soy boys.
Yeah, they despise them. I mean, there's never any fucking excuse for a man bun, is there? Ever.
I mean, unless you're trying to work and your hair's in your eyes and it's in the privacy of your own home.
Have a proper manly fucking haircut then.
Do you know why they call them soy boys?
Because they have soya milk in their fucking lattes.
Yeah, but then apparently a bunch of frat boys put together a study that proved soy lowers your testosterone level.
Yeah,
a soy boy.
I don't think it necessarily lowers your testosterone. I think it's more a case of it increases estrogen.
Yeah,
I was aware of that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I certainly heard this when I was back in the early days when I was studying, really learning the basics of bodybuilding, and they said to avoid soy protein because it tends to increase estrogen.
Yeah,
so, I have heard this before. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm just learning all about this.
Anyone who has unless you're actually lactose intolerant, which is kind of fucking gay anyway. Unless you can't have that, it's lactose. And unless you're actually fucking lactose intolerant, why the fuck would you have soy anyway? There's something fucking seriously wrong with you, isn't there? It's like having a man bun, sandals, and eating kale.
And like,
real men eat
not.
meat, you know. Oh, I'm
That's
a
why
man
I
and I'm
started.
vegetarian. Fuck off.
So I started eating meat again. I was like, I'm such a faggot everywhere I'm going. I'm
Yeah.
fucking. Oh, can I have a look at the fish menu?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what vegetarian? They'll look round. What vegetarian? Only vegan options. Anyone listening?
Mm,
Notice me. I'm a vegan. I've got saddles
yes.
on. Fuck off.
Sometimes it
Come
feels good.
on, eat meat.
Sometimes it feels good to put on a pair of boots, pair of jeans, a shirt with like fucking only 2 buttons done up, some shades, some chains, some jewellery. Go to an expensive restaurant, get your dick out, put it on the table, and say, "I want a steak this big,
Definitely, definitely.
raw. I don't want it cooked. I just want to eat it raw."
And sometimes it's good to just walk around looking like a fucking dishevelled mess because you can, and you don't care what people think. You know.
Me right now, I'm about to go to the gym. This t-shirt's like 20 years old.
Yeah, I've got fucking leggings on. Well, joggers that I wear nearly all the fucking time, and my hat and shit.
Did you know in schools, and we've got to wrap it up soon, in schools, if a child uses the word gay now, so like, you know how you speak, oh, that's a bit gay, or gay,
Yeah.
just as a term that was thrown around. If a child says that now, like, well, this is gay, it doesn't just get reported to the school, it has to be reported directly to the council as hate speech. As hate speech.
We are honestly, we are making the biggest fucking rod for our own backs right now.
Yeah.
What kind of people are adults are they going to grow into? Weak, pathetic, fucking man-bunned, sandal-wearing, kale-eating, soy-drinking, fucking she-men.
Yeah, numpties. Big numpties. And on that note, we've got to wrap it up, big man.
Yeah, if you like to raise your prices, premium and and learn about elasticity, you need to come along to the training on Wednesday. And the only way you're going to do that is by joining us in the inner circle, wellfedfreelancer.com /inner-circle. And if you don't even have the book yet and you think, who the fuck is this bloke? Yeah, well, buy my book and you'll see it's £5 fucking quid. And you get a shitload of bonuses. And if you don't like it, I'll give you twice your money back and buy you a pizza. So just fucking get it. Fuck's sake. You probably spend more on fucking porn. OnlyFans. I mean, I bet your OnlyFans subscription costs you far more than £5, and that's every fucking month at least.
Yeah, it's at least.
This is a one-off fucking payment for a lifetime membership to the Bronze Inner Circle. It's a fucking no-brainer.
And on that note, we will see you guys later.
Yeah. Bye.
No potatoes.